Are we live?
It's happening. It's happening. We're live.
Yeah, we're live.
All right. Good evening. Good evening. Hope everybody is staying warm. Unless you're in California, I think we're all under a pretty hard freeze right now. How you doing out there, Priscilla? How's Colorado?
It's actually 30 degrees and it feels warm
30. Wow. Hopefully,
compared to the last 2 days.
yeah, my little brother, his girlfriend actually lives in Fort Collins, so he drove over there to see her from South Dakota, and he said it's actually not bad at all.
No, it's actually great compared to yesterday.
Yesterday here in Iowa, it was a balmy minus 22 Fahrenheit. So for Celsius, that's, I don't know, pretty close to the same, I think. Once you get negative, the numbers seem like they stay pretty close together. But we're surviving over here. We're not doing too bad. I'm in better shape than some folks down south that aren't used to this stuff.
It's crazy how cold it got down south.
Oh, it happened fast too. So I lived in Del Rio, which is, the border of Mexico and Texas. And I mean, it got below freezing a couple times, but nothing extensive. And we never got any snow, and they actually got snow this week. But anyway, I'm going to quick run through the chat, see who's here. Looks like we have about 15 people watching. Anthony's here. Anthony, appreciate having you around. Thanks for dropping links. Thanks for playing the mod game. I know sometimes it's a pain in the neck, but I appreciate you. I'll take care of you. Fish Guy Nick, what's up, man? Riddle's here. Riddle is preaching to hit the like button. Thanks. If you haven't, we have 15 watching. Only 9 people have hit that thumbs up. So if you could smash it, thumbs up would be great. If you haven't, I didn't even share my own stream. Usually I share it on some of the Facebook groups. But if somebody's got time, share it on the old Facebook group. Send it to your friends. See how many people we can drag in here, because we're going to talk about some stuff like usual. We'll talk about all things fish. And then we're going to give some stuff away. Riddle.
What are we going to give away?
I don't know yet. We'll get there. Hold on. Skipper's Aquariums. Tom, what's up, man? I'm sure it's pretty cold in the Northeast too. S, hello. Yo, what's up? Patrick, Dragon Lair. Hey. Glad to have you here. And we were talking the other day, and one of these days we're going to get Dragon Lair up on the stream, because that dude's got a lot of useful knowledge up here in his old nugget. So we need to extract some of that so that we can all learn a thing or two. Third Coast Aquatics, I hit you in the chat, but hey man, what's shaking? Thanks for stopping by. Riddle said something to keep during powder outages in the summer for your fish room is a full fridge. Your frozen foods will last longer. That is a good point. The more stuff you have in your fridge, the colder it will stay. Funny how that works. X is an insulator. You bet. It sure does. Edgar Reyes. Hello. Anybody else? Am I missing anybody in here? I'm scrolling down. Fish and Florals here. Hey, what's shaking? Been below zero for 5 days straight so far in Minnesota. How far south of Minnesota are you, Fish and Floral? Because I'm in Sioux City, which isn't too far from the old border there, and it's been rough here. It's been pretty rough. Loria, 99. Good evening. Steve's in the house. Steve's a neighbor to the northeast of me, that direction somewhere. But he's a plant nerd, and he doesn't share his stuff as much as he should on Facebook. I think he's on Instagram too, but that dude is pretty good at what he does. I wish he'd post more. But I'll maybe in a little bit, if we start talking about plants and stuff, we'll post some of his stuff.
Are you going to go visit Jeffro?
I am. Once it's safe to, leave my house and not my face just freeze off. I mean, despite, the absence of the mustache, this is the moneymaker right here. Okay.
But so, you used to Guam to tropical weather, so you can't go outside.
We got to take care of the moneymaker, because actually, face for radio, but whatever. We're on YouTube. We're not ashamed. Tom said it's 20 over there, so that's not too bad. We're supposed to hit the 20s on Saturday. I think I might go ice fishing. Fish and Floral commented it's 50 degrees warmer in his refrigerator or hers. We're southeast Rochester. Funny, my brother-in-law actually played junior hockey for the Rochester IceHawks there in Rochester. So I spent a little time there. Steve's making fun of me. because I'm pale for hanging out in the tropics. Steve, I could, live outside, and this is what you'd get. Sorry, man.
I don't think you were much browner because you were there.
No, okay. No, that doesn't happen. Yeah. So go Hawks. Fisher Florals is a Hawks fan. There you go. 80s. Dragon Lair wants me to bring the 80s porn stash back. Maybe in March that'll make a return. Gotta give it a rest. I know that a lot of people enjoy it, but I think if I give it to you all the time, then you don't enjoy it as much. So it'll happen. Be patient. Someday it'll come back, and you guys will get the full effect of the actual blooming of the stash as opposed to
Kira says you were pale because the curtains were closed all the time.
Well, it's not that I wanted to close the curtains, but if I didn't close the curtains, you guys couldn't see me. But Kira Corridorables in the house. Thanks for stopping by, Kira. Unfortunately for you, I don't have the mustache or any of my hot Air Force friends with me tonight. So you get Priscilla and myself.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That'll have to suffice for now. I'm surprised Patty's not here. Patty's been commenting. I've thrown out some of those short videos lately. Patty's been jumping on those, mostly of puppies, because I don't have a lot of fish to show off. So mostly puppies.
Wait, maybe I can get Patty here. I'll try.
See what she's up to if she's not frozen. But meanwhile, so while Priscilla's doing her thing, reaching out to her people to bring some folks in here. Shout out to Dan at Dan's Fish. Rocking the Breeding is Pleasure tee tonight. And if you guys have, I know in one of my videos I commented, if you guys have any swag, t-shirts, hats, stickers, let me know and I would gladly rock them. Now that we're getting back into the swap meet season, things are going to start thawing out eventually. Coronavirus is not going away, but we're learning how to cope with it a little bit better and still be social. I'll be attending more swap meets, club meetings, etc. And I would love to rep you guys that support me. So let me know.
Happening, that's the better question. Are all these events going to actually happen or not? We're
gonna make it happen, Priscilla. You watch your mouth. You watch your mouth.
It's not the first time I heard that.
So, but I threw in an order. Dave's not here, but I threw in an order for a shirt from Dave, and I should have one from KG Tropicals on the way here shortly. So I can't buy fish right now because I don't have tanks set up other than, well, I've got a couple. You can see that one back there. It's a hot mess. But it does exist. See, you people can see that I'm not lying when I say I have fish tanks, and there's a few plants in there. Looks like crap. But after 2 months of no maintenance, it made it about 1 month and 3 weeks just fine. But the last 2 weeks that I was gone, the wife said that it just got out of control and it choked itself out. But that's okay. My favorite stuff lived, so hooray for that. And I've got some new stuff on the way. If you're not in a club, join a club, because that's how I preserve a lot of my fish and plants, is I spread them to people in the local club. And then if something like this happens where my tank decides to not go so hot, I can get that stuff back pretty easy. Punchy Paint said, is it a hologram? It might be. It kind of looks like it. Those are, I don't know if you have any experience with those lights, Priscilla, but those are prisms from Colin over at Nylog G. And I like them pretty well so far. I've had them for about 6 months. I've got 3 of them over a 125, and the plant growth is pretty good. I like the, it gives a pretty warm hue to your tank. You can adjust it. There's 2 separate channels, so you can adjust it a little bit. But it is a little bit on the warmer side, which is fine with me. So I appreciate it. Kira asked what the green plant in the corner is. So that's over here. And there's not a wide leaf green plant over there. There's some Hygrophila corymbosa angustifolia, which is the willow leaf hygro, if you will. The leaves get about 6 inches and they stay pretty thin compared to the standard corymbosa. But it's not that big. If you can see it, yeah, you can't really see it well. Maybe we'll get closer to that in a little bit. It looks pretty rough.
How much are those lights again? 200 each, right?
So these are the 16-inch version without like the fancy timers or anything. So they were 160, and then I believe Colin still offers 20% off the prisms using Prism 20. So it's 140 shipped to your door each. I run 3 of them on my tank. I mean, I like them so far for a budget light. They do a pretty good job. Obviously, you know, you can spend as much as you want. You can go up to a Titan if you want. You can run Twin Stars, whatever. But for 140 bucks a piece, I am pretty impressed. They actually, I bought one to test it out, and I was like, I'll wait and see. And then they went out of stock. So Colin had to wait for his next shipment to come in. And I actually got the last 2 from the next shipment after that. So threw them on there. I like them so far. Like I said, I do still prefer T5s myself. It's just so hard to run. I don't even run them anymore. If I could, I would. Crown Tail Half Moon. Hiya. Hello.
They're hard to find too, the bolts.
Hope you're doing well. All is well, Half Moon. It's cold and it's a little dreary. But we're doing well. So I'm home, get to be with my family, get to talk to you guys a little bit, and slowly we're going to organize the fish room. Got a lot of construction type stuff to do down there. But we'll get there. But speaking of, so as many of you know, probably from my other videos, we're doing a giveaway tonight. So I'm currently at, I think, 315 subscribers, 317. So thanks for that. Thanks for all the support, guys. And as I mentioned before, if you watched my previous stuff, every 100 subscribers, we're going to give something away. So tonight, we'll have some options. We got a big boy bottle of Prime. This isn't the big gallon jug, but it is the 500 mil. Or we'll give away a Marina Hang On Back breeding box, which I don't know if you use these things, Priscilla. I love them.
Yeah, actually, you shouldn't be giving it away. You should just send it to me because I could use one.
That's, you know, I've actually, some people commented when I said I might give it away, and apparently they're hard to find right now.
Yes.
But I have a stash of them because I love them. They're great for acclimating fish. They're great for isolating fish, whether you're hatching stuff out or whatnot. Dragon Layer said the Air Force must pay pretty dang well. I don't know if I'd say they pay well. They take care of me, and then I hustle a little bit on the side. Plus, my wife's a go-getter, so she busts her butt to help out. Anthony thinks he won the breeder box already, so we might just disqualify Anthony right off the bat. We'll see.
He's going to be here this weekend. Are you going to be here?
I will not be here this weekend. I'm going ice fishing Saturday, I think.
Oh, nice.
So we were talking about T5s. Steve from Minnesota said T5s for life. I'm right there with you. I actually just convinced somebody to try some T5s. They bought a Geisman Power Chrome and I want to say a Power Veg, the red one. And they love them. They said they've had them for 2 weeks and they've already noticed a difference in their plants. So take it for what it's worth. I love T5s. I think they give the best color rendition and the best growth rates. LEDs are getting there. To each their own. Fish and Fluorescents, they've got a 125 acrylic that they haven't found the best lights for. The ones I have are too short, but in my price range. Depends on what you're trying to do. These things, I haven't tested these. I'm going to borrow a Salty Guys par meter one of these days and test the par on these guys. I have them about 8 inches off the surface, and that's a 125, so another 18 down to the substrate, and I'm able to carpet stuff just fine, and they're only about 75% power right now. So I like them. My fish tanks said hello, hashtag FishFam. What's shaking? Nice to have you here.
28 people watching.
We're getting there. We are getting there. Tom said he loves the breeder boxes. He needs more. 150 Cory eggs to hatch. They're great for hatching Cory eggs, actually. I've got a buddy over in Iowa, and he's hatched more stinking Cory eggs out of these cheap little breeder boxes What are you doing with that?
Mile High Plecos that's in chat. He needs to come get this.
Oh, okay. Dragon Lair said he can't afford $150 lights, particularly three of them. Neither could I. And I basically farmed plants out of this tank and sold them for a couple bucks here and there and just stashed that away in my PayPal. And that's how I funded that. Fish Guy Nick asked, what's a T5? So T5 is a T5 high output fluorescent bulb. So that's an old school fluorescent bulb as opposed to LEDs. And so back in the day, not all that long ago, 10, 15, 20 years, most aquarium hoods came with a T8 bulb. And the number is just the diameter of the bulb in 1/8 of an inch. So a T8 bulb is exactly 1 inch thick. A T5 bulb is 5/8 of an inch thick. And you can get T5 normal outputs, which produce less light, like the sound, and T5 high outputs, which use up more power, throw a little more light. So I love the T5 high output. The normal outputs are okay, but I like light and I like to overdo things. So Steve said he likes the Power Veg line. Have you seen that one, Priscilla? It's basically like it's almost like a 660 T5. Like instead of a red LED, it's basically a T5.
Yeah.
And they seem pretty popular lately. I haven't run one myself.
Flower one too. That's like pinkish.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
So I haven't run it myself. For those of you guys that are into T5 stuff, check out Tom Barr. He runs a wide variety of T5 lights, and he uses like 6 or 7 different colors of T5 bulbs over his tanks. And Marian Styrian, if any of you are familiar with him, I believe he's from Bulgaria, and he has a large tank with 14 T5 high output bulbs over it, and he uses, I think, 5 different bulbs on that.
Yeah, but where do you buy those bulbs anymore? Like fish stores don't carry it anymore.
No, it's tough. A lot of places you can only buy them by the case anymore. So good luck. Alishan said the Amazon had the Fluval breeder boxes, which I'm pretty sure is the same thing. I think Fluval may be acquired. So these are Marina. I think Fluval acquired Marina because I'm pretty sure they're exactly the same thing.
Yep, Fluval owns Marina.
But yep, they sell out fast for whatever reason. Occasionally, Amazon will post them. That's how I got so many of these, because it'll be like $3. This is the medium size, so it's about 6 or 7 inches. I think it says a little over about 1/3 of a gallon. These are the medium size. I think they were like $3 or $4. The large size did not go on sale, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would have stocked up on those. Like you said, Mile High's here. Yo, yo, yo.
Oh, you're way behind chat.
Oh, I know. I talk too much. Too much. Ask Patty. Ask Patty. Haven't seen her yet. Kira asking, a shop light handle a T5 in it, or you need a special mount with more power? So a shop light is generally a T8 set up for a T8 style bulb, so it actually won't fit. The prongs at the end of the bulb won't fit into the fixture. Plus, it's a different ballast. It requires a little higher power ballast.
I have a metal halide light, but that thing runs so much power. It's ridiculous.
So I always wanted to set up, I had metal halides on my reef. I always wanted to set up a planted tank with metal halides, but never got around to it. Haven't used T5s in years. Yep, neither have I. Uh-oh, Geek Boy's breaking out the compact fluorescents, the 4 pins. Now, did you use compact fluorescents that had the square 4 pins, or the flat 4 that run a line? Because the first one I had a Core Life 65 watt compact fluorescent 6700K bulb on my first planted tank, which was a 29. And so been there, played that game. Crowntail asked for the link for this, and I'm not sure what he was talking about. Crowntail, if you were talking about the breeder boxes, I'll see if I can hunt it down for you. Holy smokes, I'm behind. I'm trying to hurry up. We got stuff to talk about.
Wait, I'll find it.
All right, you do that. I'm gonna skim through chat. Chevy Fish says he liked the Vitalite. I'm not familiar with that one. Oh, Crowntail Half Moon asked about the person that uses T5s. So tons of people still use T5s. Steve Signet, which is in the chat, he still uses some T5s. Tom Barr and Marion Sturian were the two people that I mentioned. Kira said she's got old Plant Girl fluorescent lights. Don't use them anymore for plants because they get so hot. Yep, they do tend to throw more heat than some LEDs. I mean, once you get a bank of LEDs with a ton of them on there, you're really cooking anyway. So the heat's not so much a factor. And a lot of reef guys switched from metal halides to LEDs, thinking that the cost savings would be in the actual light using less power. From the guys that I talked to in the articles I read, the cost saving was in not having to do anything to cool that tank since metal halides run so hot. Because the fixture itself is still pulling just as much juice. They just run cooler. Dragon Lair says I'm better than Dan at chat. Geek Boy, Ice Cat ballasts used to blow up all the damn time. So I have, well, 2 T5 fixtures left. One's a 4-foot 4-bulb that I bought in 2005. And the ballast went out, but I did put an Ice Cap, the Workhorse 660 ballast in it. It's kind of Frankenstein together, and it's been a champ. Just haven't used it anymore. All right, we're almost caught up. Thanks for posting that link, Priscilla. Appreciate it.
Well, that's the first one I found.
So Steve said Joe Harvey. Yep, Greg Zidek. They're both big T5 people. You bet. And I love T5s. Like I said, I just wish they were easier to run. And Greg Zidek was a name that I don't know if you're on any of the Planted Tank Facebook groups, Priscilla, but Greg is a name that I was unfamiliar with until about a month ago, and it seemed like he popped up. But he knows his stuff. He's a good dude from what I've seen.
I'm in like 500 Facebook groups that are fish related. It's ridiculous.
There's so many. Crowntail Half Moon asked, if not using T5s, what's next best lighting used for plants and not going to bankrupt you? It really depends on your goals. So if you don't want to run, bright red plants and the full, like the HC carpet and everything, you don't need to spend the money to have the ability to throw 200 PAR at the substrate. And PAR is just photosynthetically active radiation. And actually, if somebody, Anthony or Priscilla, if you could run over to Bentley's channel, Bentley Pasco, I think he's streaming right now, but he released a video just the other day about spectrum and lighting, and that was particularly useful. I saved it in my favorites so that I can share that out. But it talks about PAR versus PER, and it talks about spectrum and whatnot. So the next best lighting for T5s, I'm not saying T5s are the best. I'm saying I prefer them. They're just hard to run anymore. It really depends on your budget and depends on your goals. The best for me isn't necessarily the best for you. Fish Guy Nick said he's had a lot of luck with the Nitros. I haven't run those yet. They seem to be popular. Chihiros seems to be popular. I remember when Chihiros was pretty new to the market, and now, I mean, the price on Chihiros lights has gone. I mean, it's a nice light from what I've seen. I haven't run them, but the price seems like it's gone through the roof.
Yeah.
Anthony Priscilla, thanks for posting those up. Dragon Lair was a great stream from Bentley. I didn't catch Bentley's stream tonight. I was wrangling the kid. Downside of being home is that I don't get as many of the live streams. But he did post that video involved where he talked about spectrum, and that was great.
You know which light I want to try out? The one that MD Fish Tanks uses, that floodlight or whatever it is.
I don't know.
It's like $25 on Amazon or something.
Yep. Crowntail Appman asked if you're doing a growing plant for profit tank, what lighting, fert, and soil do you recommend? Again, it's some people set up plants for profit, which is, they can be for profit. It can be a money pit and a lot of work. Some people set up and they farm out the high-end plants, and they sell a few plants for $50 and $60 a piece versus the folks that farm out, some of the easier stems, and it might sell for $1 a piece, but you're going to move a lot more of them. So it really depends. If you want to chat about it, we can chat. Find me on Facebook or email me. I know you emailed me the other day. I haven't forgot about you. You asked about treating camellinus worms, I believe. Haven't forgot about it. It's just, you know what, I've been back home trying to get settled in, staying busy. Dragon Lair said night crews work good for him. Steve said he's cashing one of his children funds to get 2 of the Chihiros RGB2. They're great lights. From everything I've seen, those Chihiros are great lights. That's a lot of money. That's like the Titan. I'd love to try a Titan or at least see it in person. I have no interest in spending that much money though. But alas, we're 30 minutes into the stream. If you read the description, and we can come back to plants later. I do want to touch on a couple things. If you read the description from the video, I'd like to talk about, you know, the whole nation, with the exception of Anthony out in California. So Anthony, you can pound sand for right now because the rest of us are freezing. But there's all kinds of posts on Facebook right now regarding the weather, right? And I've actually, I think Priscilla sent me a video from.
Yeah, that was nuts, wasn't it?
So I don't TikTok, but Priscilla TikToks apparently, and
No,
she
I
sent
don't
me.
TikTok, but I just saw that video.
But she sent me a video of somebody in their house that had ice on the surface of what looked like maybe a 10 or 20 gallon tank. They had it looked like an internal filter hanging on back, and it was running, it was turning water, but there was ice on the surface of the tank. And so let's just take a second if we can.
Can we share it?
I think you can. You're a mod. You can post links.
Yeah, but
See what
can
happens.
you post those links on YouTube?
I don't know. I might be able to screen share. Let me work on that. But while I'm looking for that, so a lot of people across the country, you know, they're dealing with cold temperatures, and that's, I mean, obviously, like right now is particularly bad, but this is something that certain people, depending on where you live geographically, deal with all the time. So what can we do to avoid having problems with our tanks when we have either a power outage, ridiculously cold temperatures, or both? I mean, there's a lot of things that you can do preventatively. Like obviously, you know, the stupid easy answer that everybody sees is, well, you should buy a generator. Well, not everybody can afford a generator to have on hand just in case their power happens to go out. So while that's a great idea, and that would be awesome, even people like Dan, who lives in the northern area of Wyoming, where it gets stupid cold and they may lose power on occasion, he doesn't have a generator large enough that could, you know, run his fish room. So what are some things, Priscilla, that you think about in preparation for, or to try to be prepared for a potential power outage and or pretty cold temperatures?
So it got pretty cold here, and my furnace had a hard time keeping up. So I do have a couple air pumps that are battery driven I can use just for the case the power goes out. I mean, most of my tanks will be fine without power for quite some time, except for my saltwater tank. Mm-hmm. And then temperature wise, I'm lucky enough I have a fireplace.
Okay.
So, but I need wood, which I didn't have.
Okay. Yeah, that could be problematic.
So I think that would solve all my problems when it comes to temperature.
Right. Yeah. So now, obviously, like Anthony said, he wishes he bought a larger generator. So some people happen to have a generator on hand. Not everybody is quite so fortunate. So what options do you have? We'll just say initially, we'll say specifically for a power outage, not necessarily worrying about you know, freezing temperatures like now. Just like a normal power outage is a little more common. So what are some of the options that you can think of to make sure your tanks are taken care of during the event of a power outage?
So I would remove the lid of, unless, well, if it gets cold, then no. But if it's warm, I would remove the lids just so air can get to the surface of the water. So you get more surface agitation, therefore oxygen. And if you have no power, I would just go around every half an hour and take a cup of tank water and just pour it back into the tank to break the surface.
Okay.
And then if it's cold, I would leave the lids on and I would try to wrap the tank in like some sort of a blanket. Just make sure
Okay.
like the temperature stays inside the tank for as long as possible. But I still would go around every half an hour and just mess with the water surface.
Right. Yep. And I would argue that in most power outage situations, I know that a lot of people are worried about the temperature of their tank. And most fish, from my experience and from what I've seen, can actually take surprisingly low temperatures as long as it's a gradual drop. Don't do like a 50% water change and drop the tank temperature 30 degrees, because obviously that's going to shock the fish. But as long as it's a gradual decrease, I think the bigger threat in just a simple power outage situation is oxygenation in the water. And that can be accomplished whether you have a battery powered, air pump, or if you do have a generator, maybe it's not a large generator, I would run air pumps just to keep little surface agitation in the tank to compensate for oxygen. Or you can take, a spatula, a spoon, you can, turn water over with a cup, just occasionally to keep the oxygen levels something reasonable. Now, if it gets cold, I've seen a few different people throwing ideas up here. Obviously, you can wrap your tanks in blankets, ski jackets, whatever, to retain that heat, and that's a great option. Fish and Floral commented, heat water on the stove if possible for warm top-offs. I've never done this, but I know a lot of people say, I mean, this isn't one of the reasons that I keep gas appliances, but one of the reasons that if I had to, I could, because I keep gas appliances. Heat water, use hot water and put it in a water bottle, and float that in the tank to maintain some temperature. I know some people, like in Texas, if you're familiar with Luis Navarro, he's a pretty good aquascaper. He currently works for Seachem, but he's in Houston, and he said the temperature inside his house was 34 degrees right now. Ooh. Which is pretty crazy. Crowntail Half Moon said, I've heard to lower tank water for freshwater species if there's a power outage. I would say I'd personally, I guess I'd be against this idea myself, especially if losing heat is a concern, because the less water you have, the faster it'll cool off.
Yes. Speaking of temperature, at the store on Saturday, our heat went out.
Uh-oh.
And it dropped from 76 to 63 pretty quick. Just because people kept coming in and out. And the guys were working on the roof. They had to replace the motor or something. I don't know. But all our saltwater tanks started to struggle because, they can't handle cold. And the fish are started to bum out and all that stuff. So we just went to go get a space heater, but we still had power.
Yeah. And now, so Steve mentioned water's a great heat sink, retains heat. Wrap it up. Definitely always wrap it. Otherwise, accidents happen. Third Coast commented he forgot to open his faucets. Guess what? No water. Yep, your pipes will freeze depending where you're at. And I know we've had restaurants here that, let's see, have had frozen pipes because of that.
And also one important thing is don't feed your fish while this situation is going on, because the fish, as they get cold, they will just start to move slowly, kind of go into a sleep mode.
Right. Yep.
So don't feed them, make them move around and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Fish and Floral said battery powered air pump. Yep, works great. FishFam said if you have heat packs, you could place them on the lid hood and use that to give heat to the water, kind of like how some lights give off heat. I could see that potentially working. I'm not sure how well it worked, just because I guess it depends on the size of the tank. Even a 72-hour heat pack that most people would use for shipping probably isn't going to do a whole lot if you have a 125-gallon tank. Definitely not going to hurt with the situation.
Are you on TikTok now?
I'm trying to share the video. I don't know how well it's working. So Papa Shrimp mentioned he's dealing with it now. Power's out, was above 0, but the lake surface is frozen. So Papa Shrimp, what are some of the things that you've done to try to counter, dealing with the power out and things getting cold? Dragon Lair said he used a clay pot over candles to heat his bedroom. I saw a bunch of people mention that. I don't know how well it works. If you could comment and let me know how well that works to heat your bedroom. I just feel like it wouldn't give off it'd be some heat. I just feel like it wouldn't give off a ton. Papa Shrimp said he used USB air pumps. Pretty good option and pretty affordable anymore. Oh boy.
Crowntail asks, what about the beneficial bacteria? What do you recommend once the power comes back?
So again, with the beneficial bacteria in general, and this does obviously different strains and different types of bacteria will have different temperature ranges, but they'll survive surprisingly low temperatures. However, most particularly a canister filter, if your canister filter is if you have power for an extended amount of time, we're talking like a day, maybe even shorter than that, you want to, at least me personally, I'm going to open that canister filter. I may even dump that media in like a big bucket, and I'm going to keep that bucket aerated, because once the bacteria in there run out of oxygen, that filter is going to go anaerobic, and not only will it stink something fierce, but you'll also lose a lot of the nitrifying bacteria.
Yeah, but every well-established tank should hold enough nitrifying bacteria in their gravel and such to hold the cycle.
Yeah. And Anthony said he'd remove the media from the canister, put it in a tank so the bacteria doesn't die and cause an ammonia spike. Yep. S said, last resort, buy gasoline, hook tanks up to the car battery. Believe it or not, when this was probably 6 or 7 years ago, when I had my reef tank and just a few tanks set up, we lost power, and it was winter, so it was cold. I used a power inverter and ran an extension cord out my window into my car, hooked it up to the power inverter, and I was able to run a heater for my reef tank and an air pump to run all my little freshwater tanks for the duration of that. See, Kira's prepped for this. She's a little prepper. She said she's got natural gas stove, geothermal heating, firewood. She's ready to go. She's all set.
She's ready for the apocalypse.
So if anyone lives near Kira, you don't have to worry about being cold. Just run over to her house. Fish Guy Nick. So Deborah mentioned that Bob Seenfot said put heat packs in baggies and float them. I think you would get better results from sinking them. My only concern would be to make sure that you use a large enough baggie to provide sufficient oxygen for that heat pack to run for a length of time. If you limit the oxygen, that heat pack's not going to get warm at all.
Yeah, but then it's going to float.
Put rocks in the bag, Priscilla. Sink it.
Then the box is going to pop. The bag's going to rip a hole as soon as it hits the bottom.
Right. Papa Shrimp, propane space heater if necessary. I've seen people running like their Weber grills and stuff in their house down in Texas. Shockingly, I think there were a bunch of cases of carbon monoxide poisoning. So be smart about it. You know, the patio heaters that you see at restaurants and stuff that run off propane. Yeah. I've seen people putting those in their house. same situation. Be smart. Like obviously don't freeze to death, but think about what you're doing a little bit. Oh man. Myrtle said rotatable air system for your tank, 1 to 2 foot long piece of PVC, 4 outlets, 1 opening. Okay. That sounds like it worked pretty well.
Hey,
move the airlines to the other tanks.
When are we gonna do the giveaway?
We'll probably let's give it 15 minutes here. I gotta catch up. We got a lot of questions going, some good stuff. We'll catch there. Crown Tail asked, what about the beneficial bacteria? What do you recommend once power comes back? So keep an eye on your tank. If you have a filter that's been sitting for more than a few hours, I'd just be cautious about it. Keep an eye on things, test your levels within like a day or so, and just make sure you're keeping an eye on your tanks, because there is potential that you had some bacteria die off in your filter, particularly canister. So just watch out for that. Anthony said battery-powered mattress pumps for like a blow-up mattress. Probably want to run it intermittently. Yep. And so if you're running batteries at all, you don't need to run these things constant for them to suffice. You can just run it, off and on throughout the outage and may it maximize the actual effects.
Alex is here.
Hey, Alex, what's up? Haven't seen you in a while. Thanks for stopping by. So Dragon Lair said he heated his bedroom from 34 to 50 in 3 hours using candles and a little terracotta pot. That's impressive. That's far more than I would have expected. Kira, use a whisk and a Red Bull because you can be the hero your fish deserve. Kira, I want you to drink a Red Bull and then show me how fast you can whisk your tank. Your fish's lives depend on it. Get that aeration going. You whisk the crap out of it.
She's gonna have micro bubbles stuck to everything afterwards.
So Crown Tail asked, do you recommend removing and adding water every half hour, like 5 gallons? It's heated and aerated. If you have I don't know, I just don't want to get into, temperature fluctuations can be bad too. And that's one of the things with, you could do hot water changes with warm water. You could do the water bottles. Obviously you got to be careful in the situation, but be cautious that you're not swinging the temperature up and down, 5-10 degrees every couple hours, because that's a lot of stress on your fish. So just be careful with it. Can you do it to keep tanks warm? Yes. So just proceed with caution. Papa Shrimp said he's got to run. Trying to see if we can get generator next door. Good luck, Papa Shrimp. I know there's not a ton that I might be able to do, but feel free to reach out and holler, and I will do what I can. Sending good thoughts your way. Stay warm. Take care of yourself, and we will see you next time. Papa Shrimp said he used installation on his rack to hold temps, just foil bubble kind on underside. Yep, that's a pretty good idea. If you have a rack, use like the big sheets and just put the sheet up around it.
Yeah, and if the water is cold, it will hold the oxygen anyway.
That's a good point that I didn't mention. Like the colder water is going to, generally speaking, colder water holds more oxygen than that warmer water. That's one of the reasons that you add surface vegetation when you use temperature or use heat to treat for, ick. So cold water is not always a bad thing. Like I said, just make sure it's a gradual change. You should be okay. I think I'm trying to spin through here quick, catching up. I
wonder if anybody here in chat had issues, like major issues, the last 48 hours due to weather in their fish tanks.
I'd imagine. So if you've had problems, comment in the chat, and let's hear what the problem was, if you figured a workaround for it, and if so, what that was. Alex said simply splashing your surface water via by hand, a drill with an egg beater. Hey, there you go. And keeping the temp lower but safe keeps the O2 maximized. Exactly. And we were just touching on that. Priscilla just mentioned, lower temps definitely help out with your oxygen levels. Lots of tanks for sale, cheap after this over. I don't doubt that. And that would be unfortunate. I'm sure there's a lot of people losing fish left and right, it sucks. Hopefully people don't decide to just get out of the hobby. My fish tanks, 4 a.m. I know how that goes. Thanks for stopping by, MFT. We love having you here. You're always a pleasure to have in the chat. We appreciate you participating, asking questions, commenting on stuff. So on your way out, hit the thumbs up if you haven't. Share, do the things that YouTube wants you to do, because that makes them happy, I guess. And have a good night. Stay warm. So Alex is trying to get Corey to just go with the cordless drill route. I'd much rather see a video of Kira with the Red Bull and a whisk myself than the drill. That would probably make a good short. Shorts seem to be a big thing still. So a Red Bull and a whisk, and you just let her have it.
That just sounds wrong.
Geek Boy's got major issues, but they're much longer than 48 hours. We won't talk about anybody personally. I won't hold it against you.
Crown Tail is asking, how long would you recommend to not feed? Let's say power is out for over 48 hours. I would just not feed the fish at all, period, till the power comes back and your tank is somewhat stable. Because like I said, if the fish get cold, they go kind of in a hibernation mode.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't have experience with koi, but in the winter when people overwinter koi, they generally don't feed them for like weeks or months at a time. I think, I don't know for sure.
Yeah, I mean you can go for 2 weeks almost without feeding your fish.
Definitely. Fishy Biz Aquatics, what's cracking? Hey brother, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. This guy, he's a pretty good dude. I like him. Yeah, he's all right, I guess. He can hang.
He's a teacher, of course he is all right.
Well, we'll let him stay here, I guess.
Better question, what would the Drew do if the power goes out?
What would Drew do if the power goes out? Huh. Alex said gobies and stuff sometimes are fragile, but most are fine with a week with zero food. Yeah, especially like if you have a planted tank, depending on what fish are in there, just because of the nature of a particularly heavily planted tank, you're gonna have a lot of micro critters in there. If fish are hungry, they'll find something to eat. Not a big deal. Anthony asked, so Anthony doesn't have this problem out here, so I can see why he'd be asking. How quickly would you let the tanks warm back up? Do you just let the heaters run once you get power? Depends on what size heaters you have. And so I generally, when people ask, I lean towards undersized heaters because fish can generally survive much better in cooler temperatures than if a heater sticks on and cooks a tank up to 100 degrees. So like I said, I would say slowly. And generally, if I'm trying to change the temperature of a tank, I'll do a degree every couple hours. So take that for what it's worth. Adjust your heater accordingly. Like I said, it's just, there's a lot of variables. But generally, if I'm changing the temperature a degree every couple hours, when I'm heating it up, if I'm cooling it down, if I'm trying to trigger Corys, I'll drop that thing 5-10 degrees like nobody's business.
Yeah, but it's like the same. If your room temperature drops rapidly, the tank temperature won't drop that fast. It will take a while for it to actually cool down, and then same goes for warming up. It just because you turn it back to 80 degree or 70 degree room temp doesn't mean the tank's going to be the same temperature right away. It's going to take water quite some time to get back up to that temperature. And a good rule of thumb is to go 4 to 6 degrees a day max with fluctuations. So.
Fishy Biz said, fish will have to fend for themselves. Everybody else run here. So a couple people mentioned that fish go into like a semi-hibernation state in extreme cold. Corabella Noche lives in my stomping grounds on the west side of South Dakota, where there's a lot of trout fishing. We do get a lot of frozen lakes. Obviously, like I said, summer hibernation, depending on the species. Yep. And Tom mentioned that koi do the same thing. So I honestly, for most fish, I don't worry about food for a week at least.
They won't even eat, even if you try to feed them. They're too cold.
Fish aren't dumb. Despite
some are.
Well,
some are smart. But
despite what a lot of people think, fish generally aren't the super fragile creatures that we tend to make them out to be sometimes.
Yeah, they can take more than what we think they can actually handle.
It's surprising. So Crowntail asked, what would you all recommend in this scenario? Used to keep goldfish in a 3-foot aquarium, and they would be gasping for air. What would be a way to prevent deaths or swim bladder? So I'm not sure on swim bladder. Swim bladder is not generally related to temperature so much. Swim bladder is usually, I don't know. Oftentimes, I think it's called by more or less an internal infection. I'm not a pro on that one, though.
So usually when goldfish gasp for air, it's because the oxygen levels are low. And then the question is, why are the oxygen levels low? Maybe your tank's too warm, or there's so many possibilities.
Alex said his last video was about fish surviving under ice and in frozen water. Torpor, not true hibernation. They need food, but some don't need soluble O2. Interesting. So now I'm kind of a bit of a biology geek, so that stuff interests me, like the science behind it and kind of what they do. Because if you look at I think turtles actually like burrow and kind of go into like a hibernation type situation, if I'm not mistaken. Because a lot of people overwinter turtles in their koi ponds and stuff. Third Coast mentioned maybe an ammonia or nitrite spike that'll make them gasp. Yeah, there's a lot of factors, and you know what? Actually, fairly unrelated. So there was a thread earlier, and a lady was talking about how to reduce the nitrates in her tank. And obviously everybody and their brother said water changes, but she actually addressed it by saying that her water had actually fairly high nitrate content to begin with. And somebody commented, they're like, oh, well, Prime, this fancy liquid here that so many people think is such a miracle chemical. They're like, well, Prime reduces nitrate. And I asked them, I was like, well, how does it reduce nitrate? And they didn't have an answer. Like, well, their website says that it detoxifies ammonia. Right there on the label, it says detoxifies ammonia, nitrite, and nitrate. So it doesn't claim that it reduces any of those. It just says it detoxifies them, allowing the biofilter to more efficiently remove them, which is funny because most people don't run a filter that actually reduces nitrate down to N2, unless you have an anaerobic section or you're running like a specific chemical type medium. You're not reducing nitrates in your filter. And then I looked because I was curious, and I looked at Seachem's website, and one of the questions was like, does it remove nitrate from my tank water? And they said, we don't know how, and it wasn't designed for it. We didn't know that it detoxified, whatever that means, detoxified nitrate, until they had a few customers comment that they overdosed it when they had an emergency in their tank, and it seems to help. So even Seachem says, we don't know for sure if this detoxifies nitrate. It definitely doesn't reduce nitrate. And the only thing that we have to support our claim that it detoxifies is a couple customers said that it happened.
So, do you know Fritz Industries?
Mm-hmm.
So they have a water conditioner that's called Complete. And Sean Hale, the national sales rep of Fritz, he was on a podcast from Randy. What's it called again?
Yeah, the fish podcast, was it the aquarium podcast?
Yeah. So, and they were talking about how it actually detoxifies. It does break certain components down, like the chemical reaction of it, but it's not like removing it.
Right. It binds it more or less so that it's not toxic at that point in time. But nitrate levels, most people like freak out when their nitrates at like 80. I'm like, your fish are good with nitrates. Don't take my word for it. But I've had nitrates way higher than 80.
Using the water conditioner also will strip out some oxygen out of your tank.
Mm-hmm.
So it will lower your oxygen levels. But if you have an outage like Crown Tail was asking, you turn it back on and you see your fish are gasping because there's an ammonia spike or whatever, you can use like a 3 to 5 time dose of Prime or Fritz Complete or whatever your brand of choices of water conditioner to like break it down a little bit, but it's not gonna get rid of the problem.
Right. It doesn't remove it. It binds it temporarily. So you test your water, and whether it's ammonia nitrite or nitrate, don't care, whatever. You test it before putting Prime in. You test it after you put Prime in. It's still going to test the same. Like those chemicals aren't going anywhere. They're still there. They're just technically like bound, so that they can't directly potentially harm your fish immediately. Jeffro's Fish Keeping's here. What's up, Jeffro? Hope you and Phoebe are staying warm over there in the Iowa area. Alex said I may dig the video about his fish in cold weather. I'll check that out because I do, like I said, I'm kind of a nerd about that. Crown Tail asked, Prime versus Safe, opinions, pros and cons. They do the same thing. Prime is a liquid that you get in a bottle. It's easy to dose. It's more or less safe, which is the powder form of Prime, just with a stabilizer so that they can keep it in a liquid without having any problems. Safe does the same thing though. It's the same product, just you can pre-mix Safe into a solution if you want. It just won't store long term.
Somebody made a video. I'm not sure who it is. I think maybe it was Corey or somebody made a video once where they took really dirty tank water, added Prime to it, and checked it like frequently. Tested it frequently, but the video is like 4 years old, so good luck finding that.
Probably worth finding. Oria asked, do you think letting the tap run for a bit after the power comes back on? I've heard that recommended for people using the water. I wonder if water quality is affected adversely for water changes. Is this related to having the power out, Gloria? I'm trying to find where you said anything else. If you could just specify, because I'd like to talk about your question. I'm just not sure the details, and I don't want to assume anything, because we know what happens when you do that.
Yeah, Prime does smell really, really bad, but so does Fritz. Fritz Complete even smells worse. I'm not even kidding. It smells terrible.
I haven't used a lot of Fritz products. Kira, if Alex didn't do all the research all the time, I would know a quarter of what I do. I just don't know what I don't know. That's the problem, isn't it? We don't know what we don't know. Fortunately, people like Alex are willing to, they do the hard work and try to break it down into layman's terms. And we appreciate what you do, Alex. He said prime surrounds the nitrates in a sulfur ring. Yep, like I said, kind of binds it up until something else can do it. Unfortunately, most people don't have a filter that efficiently reduces nitrates down to N2, so you're still just stuck with nitrates at the end of the day. Like I said, your mileage may vary, depends on your filter setup. Everybody has something going on different, and we don't always see exactly what's going on in our tanks. So S, I think it was S, mentioned sodium thiosulfate. Sodium thiosulfate is often used to treat for chlorine in the water. However, correct me if I'm wrong, it does not treat for chloramine, which a lot of municipalities are using these days.
Or bind any other metals and stuff.
So I mean, if all you have in your water is chlorine that you want to deal with, it's super cheap. I've used it before. Like I said, the cities that I've lived in most recently have used chloramine though, so it proved pretty much useless. Deb Sanders. Hey Deb, thanks for stopping by again. I think I shouted out to you earlier, but we're glad to have you. She said she has to crank her brain up a few levels when listening to Alex. Brain exercise for this old lady. Alex is a brain exercise for everybody, and that's why I love his stuff. Is because he gets down. I'm a science type guy myself. He gets down into the nitty gritty, and we get to check it out and kind of learn. You know, a lot of people have a rough understanding of maybe some concepts that go on in their tank, and Alex gets in and breaks those down so that we can understand exactly what's happening. Chattanooga Egg, what is up, Ed? How you doing? I caught you in stream the other day and said howdy, but haven't had a chance to talk to you too much lately. Hope everything's going well. Hope you're recovering, you know, from the recent tragedy that was the Super Bowl. Thinking about you.
You had to remind him of that, better. Didn't you? That was mean.
Alex said at least he's not the only one going down the rabbit holes. I hear you, man. And that's something I like to get down into, you know, that stuff. My background is cellular biology, physiology, and organic chemistry. So I get it. And if you ever want to, I'd love to sit down and chat with you and get into the detail stuff and the specific stuff. You know, for the most part, I think most people they know that there's science behind it. They know chemistry happens, but they're not super concerned about it. But I'd love to chat anytime. Fish and Fluorescents, they prefer safe over prime just for cost savings. Yep. Depends on how many tanks you have. I use safe for, you know, most of my tanks. Once you get down to like, if all you have is like 10-gallon tanks, just get some prime. It's just so much easier. My 2 cents.
I just use RO water.
Right. Well, I mean, most of my stuff is RO now, but I still run tap water and some stuff. Dragon Lair said water sitting pipes can absorb harmful chemicals. That's why they recommend running the water before you use it to flush out the pipes. I can see that. And every time before I fire up my RO unit, I do purge it and flush that out before I start cranking water into storage. Well, it's 10:05. I think we should get into a little giveaway action. I'm sure there's people that want in on it, but I know not everybody's a night owl. So tonight, what I'll do is we'll play. I haven't messed with Nightbot. I should the other day just to make it less work for me and less messy.
Yeah, makes life easier.
It does. We'll play the number game here, I think, and we'll have in a minute here. I'll say start, and we'll guess a number between 1 and 50. I think everybody here knows the rules. So we'll pick a number between 1 and 50. And Priscilla, I will have you select a number using a random number generator of your favorite flavor, and the winner will get a choice between Prime. If you like Prime and use Prime for your water changes, you're welcome to a bottle, or, which I have a feeling more people may or may not be interested in, this medium-sized Marina hang-on breeding box. For those of you that haven't used these before, it hangs on to your main tank. There's an airline that basically moves water up into it from the main tank, and then it overflows out the other side. Good for fry. I use it for acclimating fish. You just make a little trickle, and then it's like a drip acclimation, and eventually it's just full-blown tank water.
What did you say? Number between 1 and 50?
50. We've got 27 people, so we'll do 1 to 50. So I'm going to say go right now. So start throwing numbers down. We'll have a runoff if we get duplicates, and it is the closest to, without going over, whatever number happens to pop up on Priscilla's phone. Alex said everyone's being so kind. He learns from everyone here. Someone makes a mistake, and I don't have to. Yep, learn from other people's mistakes. Don't be afraid to make mistakes that you and everyone else can learn from too. Oh boy, there go the numbers. I'm just trying to skim a couple of chat messages here.
Oh wait, I gotta put a number in too. I want that thing.
Well, pick a number. Alishan said they took 2 semesters of OChem. Yep, I did that, and then I worked on a research project with one of my professors who did, before he became a professor, he did some work in industrial drug design. So he was a wealth of knowledge. I get some OChem, a lot of it's over my head, and not something I'm particularly excited to pursue too often.
Yeah, only guess once, guys.
Yeah, Alex, hit me up. Drop me an email, mike.allthingsfish@gmail.com, or find me on Facebook. You can find me at the Get Gills Facebook group. I'm the admin over there. So if you're not in it, you should be in it. So join up. We got a pretty good group over there. It's not a super busy group, so you don't get a lot of the redundant questions and a lot of the spam.
Remind me after this to order Davo's shirt.
The one with his new logo?
Yeah. I keep forgetting.
Yeah, that's pretty slick. I like his new logo. Crown tested. One tip I was told was to use air stone closer to the top in power outage if USB pump used and lid open if temperatures isn't an issue. So lid open will help with gas exchange. Excuse me. An air stone closer to the top. What you're doing there, I'd imagine, is trying to reduce the back pressure on the pump itself. But by moving the air stone closer to the surface of the water, you're reducing the actual water flow in the water column itself. So you're still getting the surface agitation, but you're not getting, flow through the tank. So you're not moving the water from down by the substrate up near the surface.
All right, I think we're guessing. Everybody guessed a number. And everybody that isn't, you're sleeping. But I'm going to type stop. You get about 5 seconds to put in your guess if you haven't. There we go. And let me pull this up real quick. I actually got it on my computer.
Do the things. So Corabella Noche is a former molecular biologist at the NIH. You're my people. You are my people. Geek Boy asked, is Dan Slee here? He wants to choose 0. If you don't want to win anything, 0 is a great option. So feel free. I'm sure everybody else would appreciate a 0.
All right. Here it is. So we got between 1 and 50. And I'm going to hit generate. Oh, the number is 50.
The number's 50?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't think that
let's
ever
see.
happened.
I've never seen that. Third Coast Aquatics guessed 50.
Yeah.
Third Coast Aquatics. Chances are nobody else guessed 50. That's
Yeah.
couple. I see a couple 47s. Do you see anybody else that guessed 50, or is it just Third Coast? I
No,
think it's
it's
just Third
just
Coast.
Third Coast. Yeah.
All right, Third Coast. Drop a comment. Let me know which one you want. And I will get that in the mail to you. Send me an email, mike.allthingsfish@gmail.com. It should be down in the description. Otherwise, it's on my channel.
Mike.allthingsfish@gmail.com.
Because I have not set up a domain yet. So allthingsfish.com, the domain itself, is currently registered to somebody that's just hoarding domains, trying to make money off it. However, in May, their contract expires, so I'm going to see if I can snatch it up. Third Coast wants the breeder box. It's all yours. You ruined a lot of people's day by taking this one. But I'll get it in the mail to you. Send me an email. Priscilla just dropped my email address. And I will get that in the mail to you potentially as soon as this week. So it does not heat. Nope. No heat pack. No special care. But actually, so I don't know. I know you follow Lisa over at KG Tropicals.
Mm-hmm.
But I was watching a video that they recently released on how they actually pack and ship their fish. And in the winter, so they double bag their bettas, right? And then they have these foam sleeves that fit over the bag.
Mm-hmm.
So they double bag it, they foam sleeve it, they put paper in, and then they use, in this video, they used a 72-hour heat pack and they separate it with the paper so the heat pack's not right up against the fish. But it was a quality shipping job. I like the way they're doing it. Those little sleeves, I'm sure they're not expensive. But that just goes to show that some folks, you know, like KG Tropicals, they're not just in it for the money. They're trying to help everybody out, and they're going the extra mile and eating the extra cost to make sure that everybody is satisfied and their fish get there okay.
They're always going the extra mile. So if you ever want to buy a betta, I really recommend to go to fishkeeping.com.
Like I said, I've got one of their. They just released a new shirt.
There it is.
I don't know if is there a new shirt on their website yet? They got a new logo.
I think so.
Let's
see.
So I just ordered that one.
Oh, you did order it?
Riddle asked, will there be a DOA policy for that one? If you send me a picture within 2 hours of delivery, yes. All right. I'm trying to see if that shirt. I ordered like 3 shirts this week, so I'm not sure. I know I wanted a KG Tropical one.
Did you order my shirt?
One of their ones or not. Did I order your shirt? Not yet. I didn't.
Did you?
And I thought about.
Pictures?
I need to get them matted and framed for one, and then I need to, like I said, down in the fish room. So I'm upstairs right now. This is my living room. Downstairs where the fish room's at is where that art will likely go up. So I gotta. There's a lot of construction type stuff to go on down there before I start putting stuff on the walls. But we'll get there. We'll get there.
I gotta send you a bunch more.
Corbella Noche, good frosty night from the Black Hills. Hope you have a good one. Thanks for stopping by. And I think, so he's fairly local. I think in 2 weeks I'll actually be out in Rapid. So it might be a good chance for us to meet up. And maybe I'll bring you some plants or something.
Ed lost my shirt, which is crazy because Ed, you're like the only person that actually had that shirt before I took it back down off Teespring. So
Which
you
shirt
lost
was
like
it?
the one and only unique shirt. With a beta.
So apparently Chattanooga Ed has a shirt now too. Unfortunately, I haven't had the time to jump on Ed's stream lately. But if he has a shirt, I'll have to jump on the Chattanooga Egg t-shirts train. I'm trying to share my screen here. I don't know if it's working or not.
Hey, we just see our pretty background.
It says it's supposed to work. I don't see it. Whatever. But it's the KG Tropicals. Their new logo for just $14.99, which is cheap for a t-shirt. There it is. For $14.99, you can get the new KG Tropicals logo t-shirt, which is a steal for t-shirt. Help them out. They're great people. Keepfishkeeping.com. Whoops.
Hey, they got some of my art on there.
Do they? They do. They do. They have 3 betas on there, don't they? Betas. Sorry.
I
Betas.
think so, unless they sold it all.
Didn't mean to hurt anybody's feelings.
Alex says, and make a shirt that has my channel name on it. Finally, so for all my merch is just fish art, no words.
I know how that goes. So I've got stickers in the works. So I'll start, sharing stickers with people that want a sticker. Is an all things fish shirt, mug, hat, any all things fish swag. If you're interested in that, comment below and maybe we can work on something. I don't want to. I'm going to make some stuff for myself just because I enjoy it. But if nobody else wants it, then I don't want to stock up on it and just have a bunch of old shirts and hats that nobody
I would just put
is
it on
interested
Teespring.
in. Chattanooga is that he's got KG's Bubbles shirt. Can't go wrong with that one. I do not have that one. I just ordered the new KGT, the new logo shirt.
I need one of those too. I'm gonna order this right now.
Order one. And if you're there, you might as well drop the link in the chat so that everybody else can order one. And Lisa was kind enough last week. She offered up a gift card to give away during Priscilla's stream. So,
Yeah.
So go show them some love. If you guys don't mind, everybody could use another t-shirt. Even Dragon Lair, who said he has 300 shirts, can use another one.
We should
Drawing
have
right on them all
Lisa.
and sell them to you.
We should have Lisa as a guest on Saturday.
That's your show. You work on that.
I'm just gonna decide for her.
So Kira asked if anybody has tank tops, and I think they do. So Myrtle said Joe does. I want to say I bet Jeff Rose. He seems like the type of guy. I don't know if he'd necessarily have. He might not have a tank top, but I bet Jeffro rocks the sleeveless tee.
I have a Jeff Rose shirt. His old
I
one.
need one.
Before he changed his logo, I have the OG Jeff Rose shirt.
Okay. Alex said he's got some tank tops on his Teespring. If you're into tank tops, check that out. My computer right now is running super slow. Otherwise, I'd post the link in the chat. So if anybody has Alex's stuff, feel free to post it up in the chat. Yep, he says he has it on his Teespring.
What's it under, Alex? Under the Secret History of Living in Your Aquarium or Alexander, your name?
That's so long. So long.
Teespring.
Oh my gosh, my laptop's about to go out the window. Unfortunately, that would leave me with a broken window, and it's cold outside, so I'll refrain, I suppose. But we're an hour and 20 into it. Should be in the description.
I'm trying to find Alex's link.
He says he has it in the description for his video. Fish Guy Nick asked if we're going to give away this 500 ml bottle of Prime. What do you think, Priscilla?
Sure.
Should we?
Oh, I found it. Yes, we could.
27 people are still watching. So we have managed to keep people's attention for an hour and a half. And as a reward to somebody for listening to us babble for an hour and a half, just kidding. I do this to have fun with you guys and interact. It's just a good time. Love hanging out with you guys. But let's give away this bottle of Prime. So for those of you guys that use it, actually, so we'll do one more giveaway, and here's what we're gonna do. Hey, Bottom Dwellers, what's up?
BDA.
Haven't seen you in a couple days, but the old BDA is in the house just in time. So for those that are here, all 30-ish of us, we're going to do another giveaway, and you will have the option of this bottle of Prime. I know some people like Prime, some people like other stuff. Or, Priscilla, do you offer the Fritz conditioner on your website at SwissAquatics.com?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is we'll do a giveaway. It'll be another 1 to 50 number game deal. Just guess once. Wait till I say go. But the winner will have an option of a 500 ml bottle of Prime from me, or a bottle of the Fritz conditioner from Priscilla MK at SwissAquatics.com.
Which is 500 mils as well, I think.
So for everybody else, you can thank Fish Guy Nick for asking us to give away some more goodies. I was convinced. It took a lot of talking to, but you convinced me. So we'll do it. We'll do a giveaway. So go ahead and start throwing those numbers down. 1 to 50. 0 doesn't count. And the winner will get their choice of Fritz Aquatics Complete Water Conditioner, or
60 ounces.
60.
Did your laptop just die?
Nope. I might throw it out the window, but it's still trucking.
Oh.
So you can either get from Priscilla over at Swiss Aquatics the Fritz Complete, or a 500 ml bottle of Prime, courtesy of yours truly. Throw those numbers down. 0, Priscilla. What are you doing?
I don't want it. I'm just gonna pull it down and sleep.
You don't want it.
I could have just said nothing, but right.
It's more fun to pretend like you're playing.
Exactly.
So for those of you not familiar, the Fritz Aquatics Complete Water Conditioner. Fritz Complete is a concentrated one-step full-spectrum water conditioner that detoxifies chlorine, chloramine, heavy metals, ammonia, nitrite, and nitrate. Safe to use in fresh and salt water, including reef and planted aquariums. So there's that. This can be all yours, and everybody's familiar with Prime.
Yeah, but we would do a 16-ounce bottle.
What's that cost? $14 plus shipping. Just kidding. Shipping's free. There's no cost to win any of this. It's all on us. And so the Fritz Complete 16 ounces, which is the bottle in question, will treat just short of 5,000 gallons. So that should last you a little while.
How much does the Prime, the large bottle, treat?
500 mils treats 5,000 gallons.
It's like a competition.
Right. Fritz Complete do not overdose. A sulfur odor is normal and dissipates rapidly after use. So I don't know. I haven't looked at the MSDS for each product. They both smell like sulfur. They both claim to do the same thing. Wouldn't be surprised if the active ingredient is pretty identical.
I hope Scott wins because I gotta send him some shrimp anyway.
Scott can't win again.
Why?
Or the other Scott.
Oh, he's winning too much?
I feel like I keep seeing people named Scott have been winning so much lately.
I won on Sunday on LIVESTREAM a $50 Amazon card.
50?
Yeah. All right.
Apparently I need to hang out in more streams again.
I didn't invite you on purpose, so it like higher my chance to win.
I'm not in any competition anyway.
Right.
So a couple of people threw their name in the hat, but said that they'll give it to somebody else. So
we'll see.
Priscilla said stop. Bottom Biller Aquatics asked what he missed for prizes. So far, the only thing you missed was probably the thing that most people wanted, was this brand new Marina hang-on breeding box, size medium. But we are doing a giveaway right now. So if you didn't get a number in, throw your number in there, Bottom Dwellers. And that's for either Prime or Fritz Complete, courtesy of Priscilla at SwissAquatics.com.
There's the number generator. Did he throw in a number?
I don't know. Let me see if he guessed quick. We'll make sure he gets in there before we pick a number. I don't think so. So Bottom Dwellers, 1 to 50. Throw a number down. Oh, yep, he did. So Bottom Dwellers guessed 33. He's in. All right.
All right. Can I hit generate? No way.
So let me get this straight. First, your random number generator guesses 50.
I think this thing is broken.
And then it guesses 49. All right, let's see. So somebody look for see who got 49. It's
gonna be 48. Let's try. No.
Nope. So 49 is the winner. Alex said there's a bunch of sulfur salt ring molecules. Yep. CChem likes to, if you look at like Prime or Excel, they like to patent their own stuff and call it proprietary, even though it's, don't get me started. So the number was 49. I saw somebody guess 50, but it's the
closest with 40.
The closest to, without going over. 43 Skippers. I see that one.
Yeah, Skipper's got it.
All right. So Tom, buzz me a message on Facebook, brother, and I will get you taken care of. So congrats to Skipper. Thanks for playing.
Yay.
So we've gone an hour and a half. We talked about, we got into, we sidetracked into plants. Shocking. I mean, somebody like myself, getting distracted by plant talk, whatever. Never saw that coming.
Did I tell you I ordered a bunch of plants?
For
my
you?
Yeah.
So can we see that? Is that a thing? Can we see that right now? Or is that a secret project?
It's full of tannins.
That's good. I like it.
Like super tannins. Let me try to join
Craig,
my phone.
Craig's here. Good day, Craig. Craig says, good day, everyone. Show him some love. Hello. How you doing? We're glad you're here. So anyway, we talked about lights. We got sidetracked on that. We talked about, some people getting cold, trying to keep their tanks warm, trying to keep their tanks running. So the next stream, and I'm not necessarily wrapping it up right now, but the next stream will be Priscilla, Saturday night at what time?
At 10 p.m. East, 8 p.m. Mountain, 9 p.m.
Okay.
Central, 7 p.m. Pacific. I totally went backwards, didn't I?
That's okay. And did you say you're going to try to get Lisa from KG Tropicals there?
Yeah, I can't make any promises, but I'll try.
Okay. So the next stream will be Saturday night. Priscilla will be on her channel. I may or may not join for that one. I'll have to see what my schedule looks like. Might be out of town. So that'll be the next one between us. Otherwise, you guys know the schedule better than I do. Ed, Alex, all those folks. There's, everybody and their brother is making videos. Live stream super popular, so show everybody some love, even if you can. Like, I try to stop in. Like, I get a notification that says so and so's live. Even if I'm in my car, like, I'll stop in for like 5 minutes, crank the volume up, say, hey, I'm here. Show them some love. So Bottom Billers asked, all things fish, what you got for stem plants? For stems right now, I got about 30 or 40 species. I don't have anything for sale because I'm trying to clean up that mess back there. So once I get that figured out, we will. I'll start offering some stuff up and get it posted on. What is going on here? On my store, and that's Get Gills. Which, if you're not using Get Gills, it's a great option. Great community. But what do you guys want to see? So I've asked the last couple times. I've kind of asked what you guys wanted to see on the next stream, and we talked about filter media a little bit. We talked about filtration. We started talking about lights tonight, and that seemed like it took off. But what would you guys like to see us chat about? What do you guys have the most questions about for plants for next time? Or is there somebody that you think you want to see on the stream? If there's somebody that you guys, yeah, I can hear you. If there's somebody that you guys want to see on the stream, let me know. Or if you, excuse me, if you want to be on the stream, drop me an email, write me a message, comment below, leave a comment on the video. Like, hey, what's up? Let's chat on the live stream, and we'll gladly have guests on here. I said, if you guys are like, hey, we want Ed, or we want Rico, or we want Dan, or we want Jess or Bob or whoever, let me know, and we'll try to make it happen. People have busy schedules, but we'll see what we can do.
No, I'm choppy. Am I on my Wi-Fi? Yes. But yeah, here it is. Did we lose the mic? I think we lost Mike. Anyway, this is the tank he was talking about. It's a 25-gallon lagoon I'm setting up for shrimp, and it's one big piece of Malaysian driftwood, some dragonstone. There's a bunch of cannons in there now because the wood's leaking. Cannons, and I'm gonna fill it with crypts only. And I kind of escaped it so you can see it from above more than from the front. But yeah, that's it. And it's running one of these JBJ hang on back filters with this little skimmer on it, which actually
How do you like that filter?
I mean, it's nice trickle. It's pretty quiet, and you can turn it down and stuff. But then it gets louder if you turn it down.
It gets louder when you turn it down? Yeah. Just because of the water flow, like more of a trickle instead of a stream through there?
Yeah, I think it's not sitting straight on the rim.
So I asked people what they wanted to hear, or what they wanted to talk about, or who they wanted to see, and Kira just said yes to all the people. So Alishan said Dan for sure. Somebody said Myrtle, which I don't know if I've ever seen Myrtle on a stream.
Well, he hasn't been on streams. I was thinking about S. S has been on streams.
So Third Coast asked, what shrimp are you going to put in there?
So all the Caridina coals, all the fancy Caridinas that aren't worthy of being in their breeding tanks. And I need to send some to Alex, actually, some of these blue bolts. But yeah, got shrimp everywhere.
And what kind of crypts did you get to put in there?
So I'm gonna I ordered about 30 some potted crypts wholesale. Mostly bronze crypt and what's it called? The one that starts with U, the short one.
Enchilada?
Yes. And the crypts I have here, like the rare ones, the Nuri and whatnot. And then I'm probably gonna put some Lucifilandra on wood. But
okay.
yeah.
Awesome. Should look good. No fish?
No, just shrimp. And then I'm gonna change out the lights because it seems like this castle light's not really working out that well.
Which model is that?
It's the A80.
You just don't like the spread or what?
Yeah, I don't know if it's the spread. Not too sure. I moved it from the back to the side to see if it's better. But I mean, this piece of wood will throw shade regardless of what light you have.
Right. Okay, yep. Maybe if you put some taller crypts over there, like some spiralis or something.
Yeah, I have some spiralis and whatnot. I can use like all this stuff.
Yeah. So I don't have the regular spiralis. I want some, but right now I just have the red tiger or whatever they want to call it. There's a couple different names for it, but spiralis red or spiralis red tiger, and I really like it. It's a pretty cool plant.
Yeah, I have some random crypts a little bit everywhere too. I'm gonna put in here. But yeah, should be fun.
Crowntail Halfmoon asked my requirements for growing stem plants. So stem plants is such a broad variety, and you can have stem plants that will literally grow in the dark, like some of your hygrophila species, or you'll have some stem plants like your like Ludwigia pantanol or Hygrophila chai, which are extremely difficult. So my requirements, it depends tank to tank, to be honest. There's just a lot of variables. Geek Boy said he likes the surface skimmer. I like that too. That would almost be a selling point for me, other than the fact I like the slim design, but that surface skimmer is pretty awesome. He said he's got pea puffers in his tin that get bad biofilm. Bottom Biller said, anyone know where Mother Nature lives? I think I need to have a talk with her. You and about, I don't know, 50 million other people are also pretty upset about it. Patrick Dragonlayer says Spiralis has foot-long leaves in his 30-inch deep tank. Spiralis is I've had Spiralis grow up and over the top of a 75, so at least, I don't know, 2 feet. So it'll get pretty tall. Chevy Fish said cool tank. That is a cool tank, and that's so that's the 25-gallon. That's what, 24 by 20 by like 20, 16.
Yes, it's an innovative marine with smoked back.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That's a pretty nice tank. I like that. Myrtle said they're off to bed. Good night. Thanks for the stream. Congrats, winners, mods, lurkers, all in the chat. Stay warm. Right back at you. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for all the help. You're always a pleasure to have on the streams. Love having you around. You're always super chatty, super helpful, posting links and helping answer people's questions. Have a good one. Until next time. We'll see you.
Thank you.
So Crowntail had asked about requirements for stem plants, and so Kabamba, Rotella, and Ludwigia. So the easier to keep species of those, because each genus has several species within it, and those range from easy to keep, like Ludwigia repens, to stuff that's harder to keep, like Ludwigia, verticillata, varietal, pantenol. So for the easier stuff, most lights will be able to grow it. And when I say most lights, most planted tank type lights. For par values, you're looking between 30 and 50 pars is sufficient. Excuse me. Full spectrum marketing term lighting. So more or less any white light should be able to grow it okay. Same with the Kabamba. Kabamba might like a little bit more light than your easier Ludwigias or your easier Rotalas, like your Rotala rotundifolia. Rotundifolia is probably the easiest Rotala that you'll find. Again, do you have every?
The Kabamba will turn orange tips if it has a lot of light.
So again, if you're looking for easier stems, so your Ludwigia repens is going to be one of your easier Ludwigias. Also, the Ludwigia repens X arcuata, which is a hybrid between the two, is fairly easy to grow. Your Rotalas, Rotala rotundifolia, is probably the easiest Rotala that you'll get. And then most of the Kabambas seem to grow pretty similar. Dragonlair said Kabamba hates.
Grow immersed. Yeah.
So all those you can either grow them immersed or submerged. None of the stuff in my tank right now is immersed, but I keep it all submerged, and a lot of it will grow out the top of the tank. So you can grow it both ways. There's a lot of
which you're saving your tank.
So I'll post some pictures maybe. I'm not excited about it, but we can maybe look at it quick though.
That'd be good.
It's a mess right now. It's really just a disaster. More or less, I was gone for 2 months, so the tank got fertilizers. So it grew really well. Unfortunately, it grew so well that some of the plants choked a bunch of the others out and ended up melting stuff. But I had maybe 50 species of plants in there. And right now I've probably got 25, and I've got some plants in the mail once the weather warms up. So it'll turn around okay.
Oh, speaking of Fritz, I need to order some too. I need to order all kinds of stuff. I was like in the process of ordering a shirt.
So what Fritz are you going to use?
I'm going to try the shrimp one from Nylg actually.
The Thrive S?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I haven't used the S. So for those of you not familiar with Thrive, so Colin Grice from Nylg Aquatics offers Thrive, which is a super easy, all-in-one, easy to dose fertilizer. It's going to dose your macros and your micros, more or less. It's a liquid estimative index fertilizer dosing scheme. Most complete, as far as I'm concerned, most complete, easiest to obtain liquid fert on the market. One bottle is all you need. It covers your bases. And so a benefit to Thrive that you don't get with some of the other liquid all-in-one type fertilizers is that Colin actually offers different models or different formulas, if you will. He offers the Thrive Standard, which is your standard mix, the most popular one. Then he also offers the Thrive C, which is a low-tech version. So it actually has a different mix of nutrients. It covers all your bases still, just at different levels. The Thrive S is specifically geared towards shrimp tanks. However, part of that is because it doses fewer nitrates than like your normal Thrive would. The Thrive S has fewer nitrates. So while it's specifically designed towards shrimp, if you already have a bunch of nitrates in your tank, like say your tap water has high nitrates or whatever, you can do the Thrive S instead of the regular Thrive, just because you don't need those extra nitrates in there.
Yep, keep your nitrates as low as possible if you keep shrimp.
So a couple people ask me all the time what fertilizers I use. So you guys know that I do travel fairly often. So when I'm gone, I keep a bottle of the Nylock G, the Thrive formula on hand so that my wife can walk by the tank. Boom, boom, done, dosed. She doesn't have to worry about anything. When I'm home, though, I use the Nylock G Select Salts. So I dose an NPK system, which is your nitrate, potassium, and phosphates. So I dry dose each salt. I add it straight to the tank for about 15, 20 bucks. Oh, shoot.
Uh-oh. What happened? What did you do? You broke it.
Can you hear me okay? My phone died.
Yeah.
Is it bad?
No, I pulled your phone down, but it was better with your earbuds.
Okay. So I'll wrap it up here real quick. So you guys heard me talk about the Thrive, which is what I use when I'm not around. Otherwise, I use the Select Salts, which is a dry salt dosing system. And it's a lot cheaper. I think 15 bucks will last me over a year dosing my 125 every day of the week. But if you're not familiar with the estimated index dosing, the Bar Report talks about it. Bentley Pasco talks about it in a couple of his videos. I'll also be doing a video on some different fertilizing regimes. But it's super cheap, and it allows me to tweak the levels a little bit. When you're using an all-in-one, what you're dosing is what you got. It's all dosed at one time, so you can't adjust. With the dry salts, if I want to dose more or less nitrate, I simply dose more or less of the nitrate, usually KNO3, so potassium nitrate. Otherwise, I could dose more phosphate, which is monopotassium phosphate. So it gives you that option. If you're like, hey, based on my tap water, I don't need to dose so much nitrate, or I need to dose extra phosphate. It gives you that option. So that's why I lean towards the dry salts. Cost and tunability, which for most people, customizability in a fert isn't the end of the world, especially if you're just getting into fertilizers. Go with an all-in-one, like the Thrive. Pick the flavor that works best for you, and stick with that one.
Yep. And I like the Nylock G stuff. All right. Should we... You're breaking up now, too. We probably should end the stream.
Oh, I went sideways. Am I sideways?
No, you're good now, but now you're frozen. Yeah, you froze. Can you still hear me? No, he's gone. Maybe not. Are you pushing buttons? I can hear you pushing buttons. Anyway, so the winners were... Who did win the first one? Make sure to email Mike, which is Mike. That's all me. There you are.
Am I back? Sorry.
Yes. Don't push buttons.
I'm sorry.
So here's the email again. If the winners need to email you, I'll put it in chat. or email you for any other reason.
Well,
Yeah, no, you're
can you
breaking
hear me
up
okay?
too much. We can
Nope,
hear you.
breaking
You're
up.
just frozen.
All right. Okay. We'll go ahead and call it there, guys. If somebody wants to open up a little after party, I may jump over there once I can get my phone back online and stuff. But I hope you guys have a great night, and we'll see you.
See you Saturday.
Saturday. We'll see you. Priscilla MK stream. Have a good night, guys.
Bye.